Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this late morning for an album review. This is actually a new album review I got a chance to listen to for myself to see what I was going to think of it. So this is for a metal band called Sylosis, I think is the band's name if I'm pronouncing it correctly, for their new album, A Sign of Things to Come. I got a chance to check out for myself to see what I was going to think of it for this album, so I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 43-minute album by Sylosis, A Sign of Things to Come, and let you know my thoughts on this 10-track album, which was a 43-minute runtime. So let's dive into this album review. Now it starts with the first opening song, Deadwood, and honestly, I'm really amazed with how good this song is, because Josh Middleton, the former member of Architects who was their guitarist, he left the band just to focus more on Sylosis, the band Sylosis, and he's been with them for a bit. I just did not know that. So basically, I think Deadwood was a pretty awesome song. Definitely rocks for sure. Highly recommend you check this song out when it comes out at midnight tonight. So for September 8th, of course. So 5 out of 5. A Sign of Things to Come, the title track, is a pretty awesome song. Really like this one for sure. Definitely is a headbanger too. And the drum work and guitar work are great, along with the other band members doing pretty well with their guitar and bass work. So really digging this track for what it's going for. And Josh Middleton's screaming potential is pretty amazing. Even his guitar work's pretty good. So 5 out of 5. Pariahs is a pretty strong track. Really liking this track too. And Josh Middleton's vocals and instrumental wise sounding really good. With how the song's doing well over me with just the mixing. The heavy drum work and guitar work is amazing. And just how it sounds, it's pretty good. 5 out of 5. Poison for the Lost is a pretty rockin' track too. Definitely is a headbanger. And I really dug this track with how Josh Middleton's screaming vocals are in this track, so 5 out of 5. Descent was a pretty strong track too. It goes into the next song after that. But I still will give Descent a 5 out of 5. It delivered something really good for me. So it was a pretty epic track. Absent is the 6th song on the album. This one had a slow start, to be honest, but it does pick up in a good way. I would say the first half is probably the slowest part of it, but then the ending to the song does pick up with Josh Middleton screaming. His clean vocals aren't bad, but I wouldn't say they're mind-blowingly amazing. So I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. Eye for an Eye is a pretty strong track. Really like this track for what it goes for. The progressive drum work and guitar work is amazing. And Josh Middleton's screaming vocals are great. So 5 out of 5. Judas is a solid track. Not sure if I like it too much, but there are some good moments and really strong moments, but the good moments kind of have its weak points with how Josh Middleton is screaming angrily at times, and I don't know if it executes too well with the screaming vocals, but I think some sections in the track do pretty well. So I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. Good track, just not something I'd come back to too much. Thorns is a pretty strong track. Really, well, I would say it's a solid track, if I'm reiterating what I'm saying. I think it's a solid track. It's good in its own way. Just has some weak tendencies with Josh Middleton screaming. I just personally think some aspects in the track, like the melody, mostly Josh Middleton screaming, has its iffy moments. There are good moments, and then there's iffy moments. So I would give this a 4.5 out of 5. It's not terrible. It's the second to last song, which we're going to talk about the last song right now. So, yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for Thorns. And finally, the closing track is A Godless Throne. Pretty epic song to end the album, in my honest opinion. I really like this song for what it's going for, and just how it's executing with the drum work, guitar work, and Josh Middleton's vocals. It's doing pretty well. So there are some, I think, clean vocal moments, but I think his screaming vocals is probably the best part of this album on occasion. There are a few slight cringy moments with some of his screaming potential in certain songs, but I think majority of the songs do pretty well. So 5 out of 5 for the final track of Godless Throne. Really enjoyed the closing track and how the outro came up sounding like it did pretty well. So overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Sylosis, sorry if I'm slurring with my wording, Sylosis, A Sign of Things to Come. I am very sorry for slurring for that moment. I had a little stutter and a slur moment. A Sign of Things to Come is a pretty good album. Highly recommend you check this album out to see what you think of it for yourself. Josh Middleton's vocals were pretty good. There were some hits or misses with some of his screaming vocals during this album. Probably from tracks 6, 8, and 9 were my slight least favorites, but they were still good tracks. So for an overall score, I think every other track did pretty well. I'm going to give Sylosis, A Sign of Things to Come album an 8.5 out of 10. Pretty good album, definitely rocks. Will be on my best albums of 2023 by the end of the year, which is coming up in a few months. December will be in a few months, the start of it, but it's going to be 3.5 months from now till the actual end of the year video. So with that being said, 8.5 out of 10 for Sylosis, A Sign of Things to Come. I'm still slurring with my wording, and I'm so sorry about that. Just having a slurish moment. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this album review.